proudest day, and the proudest time, and the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all was said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome to Kruncing Gears, the Rally podcast. The 2025 season continues, and we're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. But with another busy show this week, we look back at Killarney Historics, and also a few bits and pieces from the RAC Rally, people we didn't get a chance to catch up with last week. But Connor, Killarney Historics, it has become one of those, iconic rallies of the Irish rally calendar.
Yeah, I think at this stage now it's firmly established as a favourite, not just amongst fans, but also amongst competitors.
That's for sure, yeah, because I think it was Sean Moriarty said last week that Maurice Nagle, Paul Nagle's father, set it up almost 30 years ago. You know, this was going to be like a shining star of a rally. They wanted the best competitors from across the world to come and compete here, and we've seen that over the last few years. You know, and I think this year, like when you've got legs of Chris Meek there and Conor Shanahan, it shows it attracts the best of the best.
Absolutely, and Patrick Snars as well.
Yeah,
somebody from our childhoods that
yes,
would have seen competing in RPM or what do you call it, Grandstand or World of Sport on UTV. No, it certainly has, and the thing is as well with the event, because of the Group A's being part of it now, the stars just aren't the crews. No. The stars are the cars as well.
That's for sure, yeah. Because and there's no disrespect to Historic Rally, and it was almost a one-make challenge. You know, it was a lot of Mark II escorts, but the variety of machinery now too is a joy to see. And if I talk about written in the stars, we spoke to Rory Kennedy last week, and we're going to hear from him again now shortly. 35 years ago, he took his first international one with Bertie back in an M3. I don't even think we realise just how good a story this is.
No, on many levels. There's the emotional, the personal, the pure sporting side of it. And for Rory, and Rory's such a fabulous character. And he probably downplays it, but like this, it's fairly momentous as well to come back, not just to compete on the event 35 years later and to win it, but in the same mark of car. There's so many. I don't know what the word is, but it's just it's just incredible. It really is a heck of a story.
Yeah, for him, the enthusiasm. Yeah. Like, if you see what the enthusiasm's like now, what must have been like all those years ago? It's like his passion and his enthusiasm for the sport still burns through, and Donagh, the same too. You'll hear him towards the end of the interview. His desire to win, his desire to compete, I just think that there's just absolutely magic.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, the historic championship, this isn't just going out for a Sunday run and pottering around. This is full-on competition. Sure. And when you look at the times that were being traded, and when you look at what Chris was doing and what Donagh was doing, and then when you look what the modifieds were doing, it's incredible speeds and times. Like, the commitment was there. Nobody was holding back on that event.
That's for sure, yeah. So, I suppose before we go any further, please like, share, rate, subscribe. But in this week's episode, we're going to chat to the winners, Donagh Kelly and Rory Kennedy. Fantastic story, 2 wins in a row, and then the whole backstory of Rory as well, then too. And then we talked to Colin and Kieran O'Donoghue at the winners of the modified class as well too. And that's a great wee story there as well too. You talk about real good mates. These guys have known each other from school days. And they're competing together. And then, the RAC chat, we have Paul Barrett, finished second overall. We chatted to Gordy, his co-driver last week, but, we grabbed a quick word with Paul. And then one of those absolutely stories that I love, Colin McDowell and Geraldine McBride, over there and competed in a proper historic minute, we're going to hear there's no heater even in the car, so it's a great story, and I just love that, hearing the ins and outs of all those. So, yeah, I suppose without further ado, I think first of all we're going to hear from Donagh and Rory, and then that will go into Colin and Kieran. Donagh, you're about to defend your title, and you done it.
Yeah, well, here, look, I suppose we knew the competition was going to be a bit crazy this year, but we still put a huge amount of effort into the rally. We've been probably prepping for it for, a month at least in advance. We've done a few feeder rallies, Cork 20, Fastnet, quite a bit of testing, and put the work in, and thankfully it paid off.
Yeah, because like rallying in Ireland, as you know, we see it right across the board. The level's just getting higher and higher and higher, and like you need to be getting, the seat time needs to be there to be going and racing these guys.
Yeah, look, I think that's the problem all us amateurs have is getting enough seat time. You can see the likes of Chris, who's a professional driver. It's just natural to him. Even the likes of Conor Shanahan, although rallying may be an alien sport, he's competing. I think, did he tell us 34 weekends of the year? So he's sitting in a car, he's driving at speed. So it's a natural habitat for these guys. And to compete against that, it takes a bit of work. So yeah.
And Rory, we spoke last week, and we said that Conor Shanahan was going to be one of those guys to keep an eye out on too, because he has that natural flair, and as Donagh says, the time in a car, and all that showed there at the weekend.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, Kevin. As Donagh said, Conor competes on a very high level. I know, he's an elite sportsman in his own field, and when he came to Killarney, he just reapplied himself and showed what he's capable of, finishing fourth overall, I think, and he did I think he's had a couple of third fastest times along the way. And attracting drivers like that to the rallies, the historic rally, the Killarney Rally, the Lakes, it's a big boost for them as well, because you're getting top driver from a different discipline in motorsport coming and competing there. It brings a whole different audience, or it attracts a whole different audience as well, which is all very positive for the rally.
For sure. And Donagh, having the likes of Chris Meek and and Conor and these guys, you want to go and compare yourself. You want to compare yourself to the best to see where your level's at.
Yeah, of course. It's you often wonder, if you're doing it or had done it, in a more professional manner, where would you measure up? But I'm sure there's thousands and millions of brilliant drivers, that just for one reason or another, whether it's careers or just different paths, whatever, just don't get to showcase, but it's nice every now and again to come out and make that comparison, so and I certainly for me on the gap in the morning, we had a fairly decent run in to be just 8 seconds off Chris. I was happy with that. That was because I thought that was going to be 30 seconds, so I was happy that we could have a clean run against him and not be so far away.
Yeah, and what is it like looking in your mirror, sticking off at the bottom of the gap and looking and seeing, Chris Meek sitting behind you? Is there do you get nerves at that stage now, or is that kind of that boat sailed now?
So I think the thing that you don't ever like is the fact that you could get caught on the stage, and it messes up your stage, it messes up the other driver's stages, whatever, So I think that's the only pressure. It's not the fact that it's Chris Meek, it's just the fact that, but we ran at minute intervals for the best part of the event. So, and we knew after the first stages it wasn't going to be a problem, So that's the only nerves you get. Doesn't really matter who it is that's behind you. But there's another thing too of, I suppose, when you're first in the road, you're being hunted. So, but here, I've ran first in the road for many events, and it has worked out in my favour, and we're lucky, I suppose, running up the top of the field. We didn't lose any stages. So many of the other drivers, further down the field in the modifieds, etc., they lost so many stages with blockages, accidents, different things, so it's got a big advantage in another way, and you get a clear run at it. So yeah. So, but no, not so much nervous with the superstar behind you.
Conor, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, Rory, we spoke last week, and we touched on the fact it was 35 years since you won that event. The Killarney round of the Tarmac Championship with Bertie. Did it bring it all back, sitting in the M3, crossing the finish ramp with Donagh?
Yeah, a lot was made of it, Connor. All right, and it was surreal. You know, if you ask me personally, my own experience, it was surreal to do that, and it's a sort of really pinch me moment. And you know, is this for real again? And you know, only 100 meters up the road from that, when we finished the rally on Saturday, went through the finish ramp and got all accolade and all. 100 meters up the road from that, 35 years ago, we did the exact same thing, and it certainly crossed my mind. And you know, times like that, you feel, you know, how lucky you've been, and you've had such good drivers and drivers that were capable of winning rallies outright, and obviously good safe drivers too. And it's a very poignant moment for me. Absolutely no doubt about it. I'm grateful for Donagh for bringing me there and having me as his co-driver and having that opportunity to go back and do this again. We've won the rally 2 years in a row now, and I feel in some way it's a testament. I carry the Fisher memory quite a lot. Lots of people ask me and remind me. Remember Bertie in Killarney. Remember Bertie in all the stages on the around Killarney, and I take great pleasure and take great time to talk to people about that and engage with them. And you know, I feel in some small way I carry that memory forward and keep his memory alive.
And from your own, your own favorite rally car is the M3. You know, when you look at how popular that car has become again, like is it, from your own personal point of view, is there a sense of satisfaction seeing so many others out there that you're competing against?
Well, it seems now that the popular choice is the M3. If you look at Killarney, I think we had 6 in the top 10 to begin with, and I think we had 6 on the final results as well now. So it just goes to show what the car is capable of, and the drivers that drive them are capable of. So an interesting fact as well, I think if you look at the time, when Chris went up the gap on Saturday morning, his time was 9:01.6. And if you look at the national rally, or not the national, the modified rally, I think, just a quick look here, Colin O'Donoghue was 8:55.9. So that's just 6 seconds over almost 19K, you know. So it just goes to show how far these cars have come on and how well developed they are. And, you know, our time was, I think, third fastest time overall, including the modified rally as well. So it shows just how far these cars have come on, and again, what the drivers are capable of.
And Donna, as an event, Killarney Historics, it just seems to be growing in popularity. I know last year we had, I suppose, the hype around Cali Rovenpera taking part, but this year it seems to have been as popular with regard to the amount of PR and press beforehand. Like, what in your view, what makes it such a successful event?
Well, I suppose Killarney District Motor Club, first of all, have to be recognised for putting on the event, and I've consistently developed the event over the last 20 years. I think the town of Killarney itself hosting the event, the buy-in from the local community, the business community, seems to be great. The ceremonial start is one to cherish, because when you drive up through the middle of the crowds and the Christmas lights and the whole lot, there's a real carnival atmosphere, a buzz. And even when I was leaving yesterday morning, and around about midday or so, the amount of rally fans that were still milling about the town was unbelievable. So it's a real, I think, at end of season, it's a big party, but there is, I suppose, the competitive element to it as well. It's not as if everybody's there just to have the crack, but there is a real good feeling to the whole thing. And I've been going there for years and competed in class 12 quite a few times, and no matter what class you're in, it's the same feeling. It's a real buzz, So I think again, the motor club do a fabulous job, and it's one that it actually means something, to win the rally. You feel like you've achieved something. It's not just like doing an airfield event or something where you think, yeah, it's fine. It is a big one to get, in both categories, both the modifieds and in the historics. And it seems that it rotates. One year there's huge focus on the historic section. Another year there's huge focus on the modified section, and it seems to rotate between. This year I think there's more of a focus on the historic section versus the modified. Over the years that switches over and back with Cali. There last year it was more on the modifieds, so it's a great event for the season finale.
And Donna, like this isn't a Sunday run; it's not a cruise. Like, and maybe with the fact when we see the likes of Chris coming along and the times Chris was setting, and you weren't far off him. Like, you got to work for that win.
Oh no, absolutely. You've got to be on it, and over the last 3 years, we've been hunting it. We back in 23, we finished second to Johnny, and I think there's the conditions got us on the last stage, the night stage. But I remember doing that with Rory, and like we threw everything at it. We ditched spare wheels, jacks, braces, anything at all. Rory's even talking about throwing the headsets out at one stage to make the car as light as possible. But like we went for it in the dark. We still came up short, but you remember these stages where you go for it, and like we were just on it, and yeah, it's that you have to work if you want to be near the top in Killarney. You've got to go for it. There's no Sunday drive.
And Rory, like those are the moments that you'll remember forever in a day. Like that looking around the car to see what else you can take out of it. And then going in there and pulling on them belts, and that I would say there was no words there, that you just both knew what had to be done.
Oh, absolutely, Kevin. That was back now when we raced Johnny Greer in the last stage in 23. But that's what you have to do, and it's all the wee things that sort of contribute. No spare wheel, no jack, no nut gun, no weight brace. Like all the wee things we had to try and do but it goes to show how determined we were. And we were going to put it on the line to try and get it. Donna drove fantastic through the stage, but when we watched Johnny was in the four-wheel drive Sapphire Sierra, and the start of the stage was now gravelly but a road, and Johnny took off in front of us, and we were leading by either 1.5 or 1.8 seconds or something, and our 1.8 seconds went up in smoke the minute Johnny took off, because the four-wheel drive just shot off into the darkness, and then when it came for us to go, so we were wheel spinning for 100 metres up the road, But no, that's part of rallying, and that's what happens, and you do everything you can to your advantage to try and go for that win, but fortunately it passed us by that day. But we're fortunate to have gotten it 2 times since that.
Mm-hmm. And Donna, like Rory, talking about the M3 and it's his favourite car and all, I would say it's getting well up your pecking order now too at this stage too, because you really have gelled with that car. You see your smile and your enthusiasm at the stage ends now.
Yeah, look, I love the car. I love driving the car. I can't say I'm a die-hard M3 guy. There's some of the guys that just, you mention M3 and they start drooling. I'm not. I'm not just that guy. I really enjoy the car and I love doing what we're doing. And maybe in the middle of next year we're going to change. We're building a Toyota at the moment, and yeah, maybe that'll be something different. I don't know what it'll be like, how competitive it would be, but. Yeah, here we're lucky guys that get to do what we're doing, and to have the privilege of competing in some of the best cars that are out there, over the years. And yeah, right now in historic rally, and M3 is probably as good as you get, and I've one of the best. So yeah, it's a privilege. I love driving the car, and I think Eamon had a bit of envy on him this weekend that it wasn't him that was driving it, but. He'll have plenty of opportunity in the future.
For sure. And then, this man sitting beside you, he's been competing for, we'll not say how many years, but a lot of years. And to hear him talk, what is he like in the car? Is he as mad and enthusiastic as he probably was when he was starting himself in beside James Colin all those years ago?
Well, I don't know. I know that if we ever... have a moment or things aren't going well, all he keeps to do is tell me is keep it on. So it's there's no sense of back off or ease it up. It's always go forward. Here for me, having Rory in the car, we're at it now. It's hard to believe. I think that was our 5th Killarney together, and yeah, we've done a lot of rallying in Europe, and yeah, look, when you have the best co-driver in the country sitting beside you, sure, it's hard to get any better. And I suppose on top of that, we get on, we enjoy the crack, we have good fun. It's certainly not a chore, it's a pleasure, and yeah, for me, it's it doesn't get a whole lot better, So it's and from the first rally we done, I think it was Killarney about 5 years ago, the very first rally, and it straight away after about the third corner, that was it. You thought the guy was sitting beside you for the last 20 years, So yeah, it works, and for me, it's certainly something that I cherish.
And did you feel like, Bertie Fisher? Did you, listening to RPM? Did you start to get notions who you were?
Yeah, well, here, listen, but like it always, for me, it was always very, very natural. It wasn't, I've had a very limited number of co-drivers over the last 30 years, and yeah, Rory is right sitting there at the top, of just natural flow, and it works. And I think one of the things that is so evident is Rory's love for the sport, his enthusiastic approach, his engaging approach with everybody that he meets on event, etc. But the desire to do it as good as it can be done is key, and I think I said to somebody at the weekend, if I said to Rory, we're going to go for a test at midnight, he'd be outside your door at 11:30, wondering what was keeping you, So it's just, whatever can be done to be right at the top, Rory wants to do it. So, yeah, look, it's a great place to be.
For sure. Like, Rory, I've got to know you over the last few years, and you apply that to everything you do, whether it's co-driving, organising a quiz, whatever it is, everything has to be done and done right. There's a way of doing things, and it's the right way of doing things.
Well, look, they're very kind words, boys, from both of you. I'm very taken back by that. But look, I suppose I've learned from the best too. Donagh, whenever I was with Bertie for all them years, and at the level we competed at, and the speed we were going at, and the success we had, and of course it wasn't all successes. There was plenty of disappointments too, but when you rallied with somebody like that for so long, and at the level we did with the cars that we did and the teams, and everything around us was good, you learn from that. Like, and you get, you sort of get a winning mentality. You go to a rally and you expect to win, and of course you don't be going around telling everybody that, but I mean, you have that, you have that within you, when you have that passion to do it. And I feel when Donagh and I rally together, it's a great team effort, I must say. Absolute team effort. And the great thing about Donagh is, if I said to him, here, what about that there? Look, what about that cut there? You say, right, put that on. And then if we come around the next time, we say, no, don't worry about it, it's not there, because we both contribute to what we do. And some, me to a lesser extent, obviously, when we're doing the recce's and so on. But nevertheless, to compete, having competed with Bertie for so long and the teams that we did, puts you on, brings your level the way up. And I like to think that I'm a good bit older than what it was back then. I was probably a far better co-driver back then what I am now, but I still feel I have a bit of that, and I bring that to the team. And I love rallying, it's my passion. I've done it all my life, all my adult life, as Paul, I can assure you that. But of course you can't do it without your family support as well, but it's an incredible sport. And recently, as you know, we had the occasion to bring a young fella for a run the rally car, and we'd love to share that experience with people. And that young fella, really cherished this day. And it was, that poor fellow had a slight disadvantage earlier in his life, and it was great to show him, give him the experience of being in the rally car. Donagh accommodated the family, done everything to give him a special day, So it's great to give that back in some way as well. But to rally with Donagh at this stage and at this level is an absolute pleasure and a privilege. And we're great friends with plenty of crack and plenty of handlings along the way. And it's great even to sit down on a Monday night like this and sort of have what happened last weekend and stuff. So like I say, it's a fantastic sport. I am involved in a lot of sports, but there's nothing to match rallying.
Yeah, I think, all these years, over 60 ones, I think 64, 65 ones, and to hear that there's nothing stopping you. This is not even near the end of this story. It's only, the story is only halfway through. Well, I hope so, Kevin. All them ones, like the co-driver can't run any of them without the driver, so I'm hugely indebted to my drivers, and good drivers, safe drivers,
top drivers, people who know what they're doing and keep you safe. And I've had plenty of incidents along the way too, as you know, but you're greatly indebted to everybody that that they put their trust in me to do my job, and I put my trust in them to do their job. And I've been very lucky and very privileged that I've had such a good career, and I'm going to continue as long as I can. And as I say, it's great to have the opportunity to rally with Donagh and the fantastic opportunities to rally in the rallies in Europe and at this level in Ireland as well. So, no, very good.
Yeah, and Donagh, we spoke to Mats last week in the podcast. The man must never sleep because he's developing the gravel car, the way he's pushed on with the tarmac car. The M3 is just getting better and better, and you just wonder where the development will stop in this car.
Yeah, look, I think for all of us that are driving M3s, we have a lot to Mats and his passion, his absolute passion for BMW's M3s in particular. The work he has put in to make it a very competitive car, to make it a safe car, a reliable car. So I think we are the benefactors of his enthusiasm, his professionalism, because those guys, when they're on events supporting you, as they've run us in many events in Europe, there's nothing that they can't fix in your car. You need to come in with nearly minus an engine or something for them to not have you back out, and so it makes the whole thing work so much better, when you have a base car that is so well prepared. And then I'm lucky that I have Paul Flanagan and the team at VSM, and we've guys like Willie Rogers, who spent so much time now with Matt, when he's on the team. He knows the car so well now. For Nick and Derek and Chris and the guys, they've been working on the car, but it's so well prepared day one. To work on the car is so much easier then, and they know their way around it. But yeah, I think the competitiveness of a BMW M3, Mats is the guy that has achieved that and put the car right up there, for all the development that he's done. You can see across Europe the amount of victories that he's had with his cars, So, and they all matter to him, and that's why he was in Killarney for the weekend with Chris and Conor Shanahan, but he's also supporting the rest of us. It isn't that it's just for the big guys. He wants everybody driving his cars to do well.
For sure. And then, at the end, I seen Eamon was standing at the end of the last stage. It was a nice wee bit of payback for you to let him sweat it out for a change, because you've supported him. The victory in Finland, I don't think we spoke since then on the air here. What a performance they had in Finland.
Yeah, look, Eamon done gravel notes for me at the weekend, and was giving myself and Rory as much feedback as he could to help us, achieve the result. But he said it's hard for him to be on an event that he just desperately wants to be in the middle of, competing himself, because if Eamon was there over the weekend, I have no doubt he'd put it up to Chris. I really have no doubt he'd put it up to Chris. I think he's a superb talent, and Finland showed that. He was unlucky so many times this year. Things just didn't fall right for him. That doesn't detract from the speed. Hopefully next year, he'll be doing more rallying at home. Get to compete with the best in Ireland or the British Isles, and we'll hopefully see him enjoy more days in the sun, So yeah, but Finland was special. It was a bit nerve-wracking towards the end, just wanting it so much. And when you see somebody put in so much effort, because if you're not in the middle of that kind of environment of the World Rally Championship, etc., whether it be Juniors, Rally 2 or Rally 1, the work these guys put in is just unbelievable. And when you work so hard and you have so much, I suppose, disappointment, the day you get where it comes together, they're really, really special. And yeah, you have to, you've got to enjoy them. You've got to really lap it up and think, yeah, this is why we do it, and there none of us really competing for the crack. We're out there. We want to do our best. We want to put on the best show we can and get the best result we can. I don't go out to participate, and people would often say, it must have been so much better years ago when you were competing down the field for the crack. I've never, ever competed for the crack. I always want to win, and whether it's in business, whether it be in sport and that, if you can't be the best version of yourself, there's no point. So that's why I do it. I think Eamon has adopted the same approach, and I think he hopefully will have good days ahead of him.
Colin, another one. You have to be delighted the way you got on Saturday.
Yeah, Kevin, it was class to get it under the belt again after I don't know how many years, 5 or 6 years since I won it last. But it was the last couple of years between mechanicals and electrical problems and bits and pieces that put us on the back foot, that we didn't really have much luck with, so it was nice that everything worked out good enough this weekend,
For sure, yeah. Because Kieran, there's no doubt, if Nevern hooks up, this man has got the talent. He can pedal as quick as anybody.
Yeah, sure, look, I don't really need to say much, really. His time has proved that. But like as Colin said, last few years have just had no luck, really, to be honest. But thankfully there, the weekend, we everything went smooth enough. Yeah, so bar one or two things, all right. Yeah, the dash poppy off on us and things like, but we managed it. We managed.
Yeah, sure. It'd be no fun if it was just plain sailing either, would it?
No, it's never fun. It's never plain sailing with the Donaghues and Killarney anyway.
We took off on stage 2, Kevin, and I have a quick release button on the dash, so we can pop it off if we need to adjust wipers or get at wires to plug in for the laptop or stuff. And it was my own fault. I never clicked it in properly. It just took off from the start line, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dash fell back. I was like, oh no. So all of that is big long straight. It's all bumpy stuff. And yeah, it would have been brilliant if it was over some jumping and a photographer was there, because Kieran's feet were just up in the windscreen. It was price. I was laughing going on the road. Like, it was so funny. But yeah, Kieran ended up bursting the dash. So we'll have to get on to Chris Clark above in the north to get a new dash, I'd say.
Kieran, you may not be getting a Christmas card. There could be a bill in the post.
More than fucking likely, yeah.
And Conor, you were comparing the times there. Like the times were exceptional with the guys, weren't they?
Yeah, what do you call it? Not just amongst themselves in the modified, but like up against the historics. Colin, when you're competing, do you just focus on the modified, or because you have some of the big names in the historics, are you keeping an eye on what they're doing? Are you comparing yourself to them during the rally?
Or we had a quick look at them, but it just doesn't make any sense for us to be comparing with them, because we'd have more power than them. Yeah, fair enough. They have bigger wheels, bigger brakes, possibly better tires, depending on how technical you get into it. It's very hard to compare, because no, to be fair, the BMWs and them and the Subaru and the Escorts, they're very good, to be fair, and they're well able to put in the top times, especially with the likes of Chris being such a talented operator, and Donagh as well. What Donagh did the weekend was serious, going, to be fair, to be putting up to the boys, but yeah, it was fine. We kind of just tipped away our own and just worried about what we had to do. So yeah, pretty much that was it, really.
And Kieran, we were talking to Rory before the event, and Rory's view was whoever controls the gap controls the rally. Would you agree with that?
Well, mostly in Killarney, you'd kind of say that, all right, but the fact that we were going down to Kinmare to 3 brand new stages, we had never done them, so it was kind of a level playing field there. But yeah, as you said, we said we'd try and get a good cut up the gap and try and manage our day from there. But yeah, there was I think there was a few cars off after us, so I think everyone got Christopher's time. So it was fairly close going into the 3 down in Kinmare. So yeah, we said, teacher, we'll just try and get through these 3 and keep the pace. And luckily the pace was good and we came out of them.
I could, Kieran, we see it in other events. Like, if the stages are repeated too often, it almost becomes a racetrack. So, to go to the new stages, it levels the playing field. For the likes of guys going competing for the first time, they're not on the back foot. It's probably a good idea to mix and match the stages a wee bit as well.
Yeah, definitely. Because I suppose, as you say, there's no point in saying that we don't, as in Killarney lads haven't an advantage when it comes to local stages, but going down there, yeah, it obviously attracted more competitors from up the country, and they kind of probably said to themselves they've a good shot at it here,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Colin, the event now is attracting people from across Europe, and the UK, Wales in particular. It's like a real strong contingent of guys coming over from Wales to compete in the event. It has that appeal that it's the one that they want to be doing. It has become a very special event.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the end of the year. It's like the last rally of the year for everyone to have that last blast, and I think it's one of the only events in the country that runs on a Saturday as well. So you can have a bit of an after party as well and not be worrying about the morning, But yeah, I think definitely since Kelly came last year and stuff, definitely brought it on a lot to get as much exposure for the event, to be fair. And yeah, I think going forward, there's talks of different top drivers meant to be coming next year as well, so it'll be interesting going forward. And the stages below there this weekend or the weekend gone, were not your typical Killarney stages, to be fair. But look, we were spoilt with doing loops and loops of Miles Gap, Blackbeam, McCarr Lake, Shannon, maybe Curtin again sometimes, and I didn't really mind it, to be honest, to change it up for 1 out of 10 years or more. I think it was 10 or 15 years it was ran last down there. So I found it good, and I thought it was nice to change it up. But look, how technical the stages were, and the format of, or the way it was looped and stuff, it was a small bit tricky for the organisers, I suppose. But being how technical they were, but unfortunately, I think they lost a lot of stages. But these things just happen, and look, I think a lot of competitors lost, didn't get many, but it's kind of hard for them as well, because to change it up or do something different, because the other stages they work so well. So yeah, I think going forward might have to stick with what we're used to.
Well, yeah. And Kieran, coming down the gap, have you ever come down the gap with competitive speeds before?
No, I haven't. This year was my first time coming down there, and yeah, the first time we came down, we nearly ended our rally at the chicane by Cassan's. So I was fairly white coming down after that, I'd say. You got a picture, it was fairly, would have been fairly hairy, I'd say. But no, it was class, and especially in the dark. The first time down through it, I didn't really like it as much, but the dark was something else. I've never done anything like it, to be honest.
Yeah, and is it completely different?
Going up.
Yeah, and is it a completely different atmosphere even in the car? Can you get the whole atmosphere coming from outside?
Yeah, sure. There's even the pictures there alone, when you're coming down to sections through the tunnel there, I can just remember it. It was like the whole car just lit up. It was just class, like, you know, photographers there, and I think there's actually a cool picture. I think Colin has it there. It looks class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Colin, for you, does it heighten the senses? Does it totally focused on the road? Like, you know, the lights have to be perfectly set up to, you know, you can't read that there's a lamp post up above or anything, that you have to be fully focused on what's ahead of you.
We actually did that in the recce. We had a bite to eat after the loop of 3 we did blowing in Kinmare. We actually waited till it got dark just to drive it on the way home. You know, so, and I thought it made a massive difference, and because Miles Gap is a very tough stage to write notes, I find anyway, for me personally, but other people might be different. The loop of 3 below in Kinmare were a lot easier to write because they're tight and the corners are true. There's not many lines and stuff, and the road isn't as wide. You know, I think in places like sure there's maybe 4 car widths wide, like so. But no, Miles Gap coming down was. I didn't realize how good it was going to be honest, because I was actually worried for a lot of fellas that look we would have known it from going up and down it for with years before, but I thought it was going to be a lot more dangerous coming down. But once I drove it the first time, I was like, "Geez, no, that's fairly impressive." No, I couldn't believe how good it was. So, but the dark was just another level altogether. It was, I'd say, the closest thing we'll get to call the terrain, to be honest. But, yeah, you know, maybe we might cross that bridge in years, but I don't think it'll ever happen. But yeah, it was class, savage.
Connor, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, like, you know, when the nighttime stages, like, do you listen to the notes differently, or does it even seem like you're driving a different stage because, you know, that tunnel vision of you're just focusing on what your light beam's picking up?
Not necessarily. I think we put a lot of work into our notes this year, and everything has just been clicking. I think that was maybe what has got us maybe a little bit of success this year. That we just put the effort into it and take our time through the recce and put in the effort, you know. But the night stage, no, I wouldn't think our lights were good enough to be honest. We had a good setup in the front, and we could see plenty, you know. And I think there was only, I'm not sure, Kieran, was it only 1 second between our daytime and nighttime stage difference? So yeah, no, it was definitely, well, to be fair, Alan Ring pulled over at the end of the night stage, and we were just flagged down, but we thought it was a double O or something. So we lost a second or two there, I suppose. But no, it would have been absolutely nothing between it. It was just something about the dark. It was just magic. It's a shame that we couldn't do 9 more stages in the dark.
So something for Killarney next year. Yeah, that's something for next year. They can run it all nights and all day.
Yeah, hill climb.
Yeah, everybody up and down.
Kieran, like, Kieran, the way Killarney as a town embraces the rally, and you know that whole build up the night before, and you know everybody comes out to watch the cars. Like, it is fantastic that happens, but also just that it is bringing rallying to the people.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like the Friday night of the Killarney Historics is something special in Killarney. Like with the Christmas lights. Like the atmosphere around there is epic. Like there's people from all over the country down to see it. Like my sister, as I was saying, she's from Donegal, and her husband and a gang of them come down every year. Like, so that just tells you the attraction is bringing from all over Ireland. So yeah, and hopefully it just gets bigger and better. Please God. So
Yeah, and Colin, like, on the Saturday night, then Santa comes in, to the town and all then too. And like I was chatting to a guy, and that was his first time at the rally. He says, "Yeah, the rally was great, but Killarney was better." He would he would go back next year to bring the wife and the wee fellow with him because Killarney was so good. Like, and that just speaks volumes for the town, how good it is, and the welcome that people get there.
It's a massive. That's the good thing about Killarney. Like, you could bring down the family, and there's stuff for the kids to do as well. Like, and there's so many good hotels and restaurants in Killarney. There's such a variety, and it's great for that, to be honest. But we're kind of spoiled for choice down here, and but no, for definitely, it's definitely one for family orientated, and so it's good that way, to be honest.
For sure. And the big Volvo, she's singing sweet as a nut now at the moment.
It is, to be honest. We've had a good year. We've had no problems, to be honest, and only a couple of niggly bits. Killarney, the lakes this year was an electrical problem. Donegal was I think €15 of a button that put us out on the Friday. So other than that, we've had a good enough year regarding that. Yeah, it seems to be going good. I tested a different wing on the back this weekend. A guy from Inniskillen, Chris Clark, made this new wing for the back of the escort. So it's a little bit taller than usual, but it seemed to work like a dream down in the tight stuff anyway, for a little bit more of a drag, so that was the only thing we changed up. Everything else was pretty much the same after Donegal, only softened it for the rain. And seemed to be good package in there for the moment.
Excellent. And like you often say, like, this is not just the two of you guys in the car. There's a whole team of guys around you that making this all happen as well too.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Robbie Thornton and Wicklow puts a lot of work into it, and my brother-in-law Jack he'd be nearly the backbone of me, trying to nearly drag me up to the shade to get the yoke ready and stuff. And no, there's a gang of lads there that I'm very lucky to have a good team around me. And Dad is, I suppose, he'd be kind of HQ and making sure everything organised and stuff and lined up. And yeah, no, it is. I'm very lucky to be dealing with the lads I have.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously sponsors too, they make it all happen. Without them there would be no fun.
Oh, for sure. It wouldn't be possible without them, and yeah, I've a couple of different sponsors came on board this weekend, and my usual sponsors stuck beside me as well. So yeah, it is very grateful for what they've done for me this year as well.
Mm-hmm. And this man that sits beside you then, Kieran, he puts up with your madness at times and allows you to go mad at times.
He did. He does put up with me, but I put up with him as well. That's the result. And yeah, you would have to try and shake him a couple of times. He had much interest probably 6 weeks ago to do the rally. I had to try and plumb awesome. So yeah, no, Kieran's Kieran. You just have to go and watch it in car on YouTube, and you know why he's in the car with me, and it just clicks and makes an awful difference. He told me on the night stage not to do what we did before and the previous stage in the daytime, and yeah, it's good just to have level head inside in the car as well. It helps between the two of us, we just kind of look after each other. We had a very big accident a couple of years ago, and we didn't want to do that again, ever again. So we kind of learn from our mistakes and keep us on the straight and narrow, the two of us,
For sure. And the care for you, from the call comes, I would say it's not, you doesn't really have to twist your arm too much. like it's a great seat to be sitting there, and one of the best runs up the gap you'll get.
Sure. Yeah, 100% like that. No, like it's outside the rally, myself and Colin be good old buddies. So, like I actually don't have a massive whole pile of interest in navigating, but I just seem to like it when I'm with Colin, and we have a click really in the car. And when it clicks, you kind of just know, like when the rhythm is there, and we enjoy it. We have fun, and that's what it's all about. We're not going out every day to say, oh, we have to be this, we have to be that. We'll go out and do what we want to do and try and do our best. And if that works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
And just listening to Kieran and Colin there, and like Kevin, the level the modifieds were at was just incredible. And the chat about them going down the gap in the dark, like just I'm looking forward. I haven't seen the onboard yet, and I'm looking forward to watching that one.
That's for sure. Yeah, the way they describe it just puts the hairs up in the back of your neck, doesn't it? So yeah, absolutely. And then RAC, we talked about it last week, but I got the chance of a couple more stories, and I couldn't resist them. Paul Barrett finished second overall. His story, like Paul's a great character. He really is. I have a great time for Paul. And then Colin McDowell and Geraldine McBride going over there and doing it in the historic mini. Wait to hear this. This is just one of those mad, crazy stories, but I just think it's a fascinating story. So first of all, we'll hear from Paul, and then that'll go and take Colin and Geraldine.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Like it was something I was happy to. Well, over the moon to get the result. Like it was, as Gordy said, it was planned on the 6 years. Like, and I don't know if we were actually rated that we could have been at the pace of the youth and what have you, but I was content enough. I was over the moon really about the result. Like, and listen, I would like, there was bits of it I would like to change. There was bits of it that where it was good, but there was still room for improvement. I just had the old lanterns here. Good now in the night and the night and the fog. It's really, that's one of my big issues. But it was, and we lost a bit on the Thursday with. I just messed about with my brakes a bit, which I don't usually do, and it left the car just unstable. She was basically backing in the whole time into ever, but I just thought it was ice. But when I got to grips with it then on Friday, I seen that my bias was wrong. We actually changed, we put a new discs and pads into the car, and it affected the bias on me a bit, so we actually put the old pads back into her again and just transformed the car, and I started getting my speed then, and the car setup was right,
Mm-hmm.
But I was just a wee bit, I shouldn't have done that. I should have had it right from the start, but it was just a mistake I made. But listen, I was over the moon. The car was absolutely class, like in fairness, and I have to thank the boys for the job, the effort that they put into the car. And listen, it was down to me, the driver, and Gordy to do a job too. And like Gordy speaks for itself, like you know him as well as anybody, like and the amount of effort that he put into it. And the enjoyment, we had a great crack too. Like it was good, good camaraderie, even with all the other competitors, and it was enjoyable. Definitely was enjoyable.
I spoke to you now a couple of times this year, away from the video camera here, and that was back in December, January, and then again in October there, the Bushwhacker dinner, and it was all the talk was RAC Rally. That was it. This is the focus for the year. And you knew you had a job to do. You had sort of like a score to settle with the rally, almost kind of thing.
Oh, without doubt, I was racing nearly myself too. I just wanted to do it. And I had in my heart of heart, I didn't know whether I was going to be at the races or not. Like, but it wasn't going to be for the one to try and like. But like it was fairly good. I put a lot of work on the two myself and financially and everything to try and make it that it would work for me. Like, and good sponsors, like serious good sponsors will come on board. That stood by me, and loyal sponsors. The people know who they are. They're on like the names on the card, like, and they've been loyal to me over the years. But it was, I tell you what, was blew away with was the amount of people who contacted me, messaged me. People I wasn't chatting in 10 years, but they were following their RAC Rally. Like, and I don't know what it is, but it seems to reach out to people that all over the world, like in America, Australia, England. It was unbelievable. Like the amount of messages and the support I was getting, even on the stages, at the rally, in the service, on the phone. It was absolutely, it was something to be great to be part of. That's the truth. Like,
yeah, Because Paul, we're probably like of a similar advantage. We remember the RAC rally as it was as such, and like it was part of the come November at that time of the year. It was late nights, allowed to stay up late to watch the rally coverage, and it was making back page news and the big papers and all. Like it was part of our growing up, and I think that has transferred now. That historic rally has really captured the imagination of people that maybe don't know anything else about rallying, but they know the RAC rally still.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like I had people contacting me that wouldn't even knew there was a rally on, but the new RAC was on. As you say, I mind sitting down with my father, down at the house, and us all the lad, two brothers, and us sitting up watching Tony Mason, like. Yeah. And the what he called it, the music was always the start of it.
Yeah,
Matt Edwards was playing it up the road. I think they put up a video, like it was well done. But like that was my childhood memory, and to be part of it and say that's why even the videos and all the Facebook, what's on Facebook and the internet, like that'll never go away.
No,
it's something to have and something to memory, like you know what I mean. So, but chatting about as Andrew Bowen, a good mate of mine, he says the older I get, the faster I was, So behind my M70, I'll be real fast.
And then and the one thing with the RAC this year too, it was the classic stages. It was the Welsh stages that we watched back in the day. It was Kildare. It was them Scottish stages. I think names that you just whenever you hear them, you have visions of Colin McRae or Juha Kekkonen or whoever. You can almost visualise how they were 30 years ago. And to be fair, the likes of you two being down them stages, is there a part of you that's reliving your childhood?
Without a question, like it's something that I always wanted to do, and it's good. And I'll be competitive, like, and I just like to be at the sharp end. Like I know I'm 51, coming 52, like, and I don't know if I'd ever done it to do it again or not. I don't know. Listen, anything's possible. Anybody knows me knows that's the story. But anything can happen. Like, but it's listen, hey, it's just a great event, and Colin Hempsel, like they run some event like I would like to start into the first day to not where to start that or where to go about paying and gather up the marshals and the and the whole organisation, safety, crews, everything, and he's hit with and it's the worst time of year, you know what I mean? Like he's battling them. You have the weather, like as people say to me, why do you bother? But that is the RAC. That's if you want to have sun, you need to go Costa Brava or somewhere to do a rally. That's RAC rally. You're like that. You get them conditions. That's what the whole thing is about, challenging yourself and the car and the navigator and the service crew. That's what it's all about, on the conditions and the weather and the stages.
Yeah, and like that is the madness of it, and that's what makes you keep continuing to go back to it, because that is like it's. You have to be fast. You have to be consistent. You have to, have to not push the car to the limits. It's all these things, but you have to do it all in the moment. You can't think too much about it.
I know, without a doubt. Like, but at the same time, like, there's no point in any of them saying, like, while you were holding back, like, it was, hey, just you went for as long as you as hard as you could for as long as you could, and you got to the end, like so. There was a couple of now good moments in the car, like and like you can remember, and people could see them too. I would say, like, but it was definitely enjoyable. Like the car stood up well. The stages even were class to it. You remember some bits and pieces. Like I have a real bad memory about names of stages and where they are. I'd have to ask Gordy. I said to him one time we were coming across, and I says, "Is this near the shooting range?" He says, "You're about 200 miles away from that." And I thought we were napping, like,
yes,
we're near, like that's just me. I don't even mind what day it was, like, but I mean things like that's type me. I just get in and I write my notes as best I can. You know what I mean? That's what I do, like, but definitely I have to give my hats off to everybody that supported me, like, in every way, financially and with the help of the car and every damn thing. Like, I do believe that without doubt, it was my own team. We were under ourselves, and it was just a shade down from professionalism. Honest to God, the way everything was executed, from the food till the car to everything. When we were tested, we had 2 blowouts in the lorry on the Friday night, like, and Patrick Rose, Dave, and Lorry and Sammy, like, and they never even got to bed at all.
Right.
The two different blowouts up the M6, like, and Andrew Brown stepped in and was boys making phone calls at 4 and 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning to get the yoke sorted, like, and I didn't know this was happening.
Yeah.
I landed in the service and I was, Jesus, them boys look a bit rough. Sammy turned around and says, don't even speak to me. All right, so I knew they had to walk on, like, but they hadn't even got to bed at all.
No. And this is guys that give up their own time. They've used up holidays from work and all just to be there. They would have lifted and carried the car if they had to do it for you.
Without a doubt, that wouldn't be like if it needed to be done, they would have done it. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, and like of Sammy and Dermot, like, and Andrew Bowen, like, the three of them done a superb job in the car, like, and really, like, there was 12 people with us at the rally, and that's what we were saying. People say 12 people, but those times that every single person was needed.
Yeah,
there was nobody that wasn't needed at any time. Like, it was, you couldn't go with any less. And you might think it's mental, like, but that's the truth. Like, and
yes.
Those times everybody needed. Like, I had Ryan Kiasta, like, Ryan was like my right hand man, like, and Cormac McQuaid was the same. Cormac sorted the tires and the fuel and everything, and Ryan just was at everything, just in plate. He knows what he's at, and he's very professional what he does, and he executes everything. The paperwork, everything is very good. Sammy and Dermot beforehand on the car, Andrew Bowen the car on the rally. Ken Graham put a lot of work onto it too, and Ken got sick just literally hooking the trailer onto the car, like, and I was a bit annoyed that Ken didn't get, to be honest with you. He's not that handy around the car, but he's way crack. So, but it's sure. I have to give him a touch anyway at all times. Definitely, and he's improving, thank God. So it was important. Everybody, Cherith and Una and Sarah, like, done the cooking, like, and just looking after you. And, like, there's no point in it. Was Marty McCormick pointed out to me. I was telling him maybe years ago about the car, and I was saying about what I was doing with the car, and he says, "What about our engine?" He says, "We only have one engine." He says, "What about you?" He says, "You've done everything, but there's no mention of you." Like, he says, you do need somebody looking after you, like, and in fairness, Cherith, the wife, did do that for weeks, 4 weeks, like, getting everything into place and taking the right vitamins, but I felt good, like, and I'd lost a lot of weight, and I was doing a fair bit of training, and it's like everything else, you only get out of everything what you put into it.
That's it, like, if you hadn't put in the prep, what is it? Fail to prepare to fail. Isn't that what they say?
Without a doubt, like, and that's, okay, a thing at 50p could put you out of the rally, but you do need a wee bit of luck on your side. You know what I mean? Like, there's no question about that. Like, and we had it. Like, I would just, there was a few different times I just let Oisin away. Like, and I probably shouldn't have. I don't know. I just wasn't. Those times I just wasn't driving to my full ability. Like, to be truthful with you, I don't know what actually was wrong with, like, but I suppose. Just at times I wasn't driving my best, and then there was times I was driving real good, and the snow and the ice I come onto the call, like, and reading the road, and that I was enjoying it too. Everybody else was giving out about it, and I was driving on.
Because you could see that at the end of the stages, like, the two years, there was this energy coming off you. It was just like two best mates just going out and having a ball.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Like, like, Gordy's, he's not just navigator me. He's one of my he's a good friend of mine. Like, Gordy's good, and great way with him, and the respect I have for him is second to none. Like, and what he has, vice versa for us as a team too. Like, I mean, sometimes we might be that way professional, like, but he accepts it at times. Like, but no, we executed as best we could.
Yeah, and Paul, like, you were. British Historic Championship, and you won that in 2019, and like, that was a real filler in your cap. Like, you proved that you were as good as anybody, and like, again, 2 weekends ago now, that just shows you, that's 6 years later, you still have that natural ability, that natural flair. People have often said, "Oh, Jesus, Barrett and an escort, there's nothing like it," and I think you keep continually proving that.
Well, I don't know about that, but that's that try, like, and I suppose it's what could you say? Like, I done very little rallying this year, just with work commitments and affordability too. Like, and I didn't want to be miles in the car. I can sometimes, I probably now a few rallies wouldn't do me a bit harm, truthfully. Like, but I can get in. I don't really need to do a pile of testing. I don't actually like testing. It's one of the things. I'd rather just go and do a rally, but my testing, like, I would hardly put the car in a tiller, like, and that's the God's truth. Like, but again, I would maybe like to have done a bit more before the rally and be match fit, like, or really match fit. But like Oshin and all the lads and Matt Edwards and them boys are all in the car. Like they're like their seat times second to none. Like, you know what I mean. So it's hard to compete with that there. But I was glad I could put it to them at the same time. You know what I mean. So
yeah, and like it's nearly 2 years now to the next one. Well, we'll see you a wee bit more next year, or just
I would like to do it, but you know what I mean. Like, as I say, I'm only as good as the people around me. Like, and if they want to go and give me a bit of inspiration, I'll do it then. Like, I have a couple of different plans maybe next year, but it's going to involve rallying. Like, but I would like to do a bit more next year. Now, I might go back to the championship. I don't know. Just have my mind up yet. To get Christmas over and get a few bills paid, and get a lot of things sorted like that. You know what I mean? Like, so, and then had it hard again then New Year, but. No, listen, it's all positive. Like, no, I'm not just going to hang the cap up yet, now, to be honest with you.
It is one of those last great adventures in rally, and like to go there and in many, like, as I say, it wasn't the obvious choice, but you've only ever used minis all your career.
Yeah, I've drove nothing else.
Right from the very start.
Yeah, from I was 14 when I done the autographs, race minis and juniors and the autographs round fields. And then just done auto testing and hills and sprints and stage rallies, and then I got talked into it at the start of the year to give this year a go, and here we've done it.
But isn't that the whole thing? Like, you know, it is one of those things that you'll be able to talk about for years. You know, you'll have stories. And the stories will get better as the years go on, probably.
Oh, the wee things will pop into your head. What happened over the week? Oh, I remember that wee bit. Remember this? And, you know. But yeah, no, I was geared up for it. I had spare hubs completely built up with discs and steering arms and drive shafts and all in them, ready just if it was falling apart. But I was actually surprised how well the car hung together. Yeah. Yes, on the first day, we set off on the first day and we broke a shaft. That was a bit of a sickener because you'd put all the work and prep into it, and to break a shaft on the first day was a bit sort of sickening. And then to be stuck in the woods, like it wasn't very warm. Like, no, you know.
Yes.
Like Geraldine at one stage, we were standing founder, and she says, "I think they give us silver foil." I says, "What?" So Geraldine's over to the car, got the silver wee packs of silver foil, and we laid them down on the ground and lay on it and wrapped them round us. And the two of us was sitting. We found this wee bit to sit on, and the two of us was sitting wrapped up in foil.
How a turkey feels at Christmas.
That's what you took the words out of my mouth. I was thinking you must have looked like two turkeys sitting around.
We were just sitting there watching the cars come by, just waiting for the last one to try and get towed out of there, you know. Yeah. But it wasn't much heat now.
No, that's for sure. And like
the boys came in the van. It was -5.
Oh, crikey! Oh, God.
Yeah. And you could see the freezing fog blowing in. And we're stuck with this silver foil. Oh. What?
Yes.
It is what it is, you know.
It is, for sure. And Geraldine, when you got the call from Colin to do the RAC, was it something that you thought straight away, yes, I want to do that, or did it take a bit of persuasion?
Well, let's just say when the entry list came out the week before the rally, my midget driver rang me and he said, "I see your name on the entry list." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You said you would never do that again." So memory fades.
Yes.
Memory fades, you know. But it was good to have had the experience. It still was a lot of work in the preparation. And one of the things I said to Colin, in January was, "How much do you think it's going to cost?" And then add 50%, and that would be a starting line. Well, it didn't put him off, so it happened.
Yeah.
No, but you see, we had to think of tires. Tires was our issue because you can't just go and buy the tires I wanted off the shelf.
Okay.
So I had to get tires, and Joe White, another wee mini, I got tires. We ended up getting 20 tires, putting them onto a pallet in a crate, and shipping them to Finland.
Right.
and getting a remold pattern put onto them.
Okay.
And then shipping them back. So that's how we ended up getting our tyres to do the event. And we said, how many are we going to need? Well, I says we're going to need at least 4 a day. We'll allow for 4 a day.
Yes.
And to be honest, the tyres were unbelievable.
Right.
The 4 would have done the whole event.
Right.
I used 6 tyres. And Joe's told me he used 7. He got a puncture in one of the days. He used 7.
That's unbelievable. It just shows the durability of the tyres then, doesn't it?
Yeah. And saying that, we're not spinning up like the Mark IIs that you're that you're cutting bits off them.
Yes.
You know, the tyres, and like I'm looking at the tyres yet going, there's not a mark in them.
Yeah.
And I think what saved us too was the first day was so frosty. It wasn't cut up that you were digging through the stones.
Yes. It was still a hard surface.
Compact, and it was frosty, and the snow. You're not going to burn the tyres off in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that was tricky now.
Yeah. But like, Colin, you were saying before we started recording, you had never drove in gravel until this year. Like, this was a complete, head stagger. Like, as you say, Joe White talked you into doing this.
Yeah.
You'd never competed in gravel before. You'd done a couple of events as a warm up, but like even the warm up events, like they were only like Mayo and Carlow. Like they were small enough events like to
they were
to
small
go
enough
for that.
events. Like, they were what that was in the last day. The last stage.
Yeah.
But the 2 events we done did teach me a lot. It was more to see what way the car would go.
Yeah.
And down the big straights, like when starting to weave about the road. What I found with the Mini was the Mini wasn't wide enough for the tracks.
Okay.
Because of the narrow wheel base. So 2 wheels was in the good stuff and 2 wheels was on the dirty. So if you had like a 400 or 500 straight, I had about 6 corners
to hold it on the way down.
On the way down, trying to keep it straight.
Yeah.
Mess up the pace notes.
Yeah.
Which corner are we on now?
And in Mayo, I can remember in Mayo going down this big straight. I think it was like an 1800 straight, and we nicked 4th. And next thing, the car just stepped out sideways, and I don't know how I got it back up. And I said that to Geraldine, and I says, I thought that was the show over.
I thought he was being very clever. I thought he was being good. Usually what I know.
But we got it back, and because I thought, it's all over here.
Yeah.
You go for a test for a bit of a throw, but you still want to bring it home in one piece.
Of course you do, yeah. You don't want to do anything silly. And Geraldine, as well too, like this is, you just don't rock up to this event and just go. Like there's a lot of logistics involved behind the scenes. A lot of planning goes into it before you ever even get onto the boat.
Serious, a lot of work. I mean, I'm only a clubman co-driver. You were talking to Gordon and people like that. I mean, there was 278 pages of pace notes.
Right.
And then that's the video that goes with that. There's all that work to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Management is so important with the Mini. Planning the management, tying that in with the road book. I was lucky enough, like in years ago, to have done management schedules whenever we were allowed what they called chase cars in those days.
Yes.
That has all stopped. So there's a lot of young people have never had that experience.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I had a bit of an idea of what was required. But it was tying that in with the specific instructions in the road book of where you could go and where you couldn't go and how it differs from the rally route and things. And supplying that information to a management crew then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a story about that. I'll let Colin tell you about that one. The management crew were so important to have at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
But Colin will tell you about that.
Yeah, I had a couple of guys lined up I talked about doing it. I contacted this guy in England and he's, no problem. I'll help you. Yeah, more than welcome. Yeah. Right, brilliant. Lined it all up. Everything was all lined up. Spoke to him throughout the year and told him plans, and he has minis himself. And he said he would bring bits as well, and because he had a Jeep and he had a van, and I says, right, will you bring whatever you feel? And that was okay. We touched base with him on the Monday, told him our plans, what the boat was, what everything was. He even sent us a message to say he would be with us about 2:30. That was dead on. I thought, right, everything's going well here. This was on the Tuesday. We got that message that he would see us, because we all set up a group chat.
Oh,
so
everybody
knew what was going on throughout.
Yes.
Every message. If you were talking about the RAC, everybody knew.
Right.
So next thing, my phone goes at 4 o'clock that he had a problem in work and he couldn't get off work. And I was relying on him and somebody else coming with him in his vehicle.
Yes.
Because I was thinking, well,
Aye, that's covered off, that's done. Yeah.
There's a cost of another vehicle to come in the boat.
Yes.
And drive down where he was a couple of hours away.
Yes.
So I'm saying, you're not leaving me in a good spot here, but if you can't get off work, whatever's happened, you had a problem in work, and the boss said, no, you're not getting off. So
okay.
This was Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
And we were on the Liverpool boat that night at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on the half-10 boat out of Belfast.
Yep.
So there was a friend of mine, Michael. He said to me through the year, if you want a hand, he says, I'm keen, I'm mad keen, I lie down in a puddle, he says. Doesn't matter, he says, I'm keen to go. And I says, right. But, you're caught when you've got a couple of boys lined up, and there's another boy itching to go, and I've got a wee camper van that takes 4. There's 2 seats in the front and 2 in the back, so I couldn't take him with me.
There's no room then.
There's no room for him. So I was going to have to bring another vehicle. So I always had that in the back of my head. So once I came off the phone with your man, I was straight on the phone to Michael. Michael, problem. What is it? I says, you said you could help me in the RAC, can? Oh, yeah, I'll help you. I says, right, that's okay. I says, now, I need you at the boat tonight for 9 o'clock. I said, you to be in an hour before. So the latest you can be there is between 9 and 9:30. We're on the 10:30 boat, Belfast, Liverpool. Right, leave it with me. So he came off the phone. I got straight on the phone to Not Travel to try and arrange a booking to see
another
if
vehicle.
Yes, to get him on the boat.
Yep.
So fair enough. Rita and Not Travel. Yeah, no bother. I got you space. Right, hold that. I said, I'll get the boy to ring you, because I didn't know the registration of his van.
What he's bringing.
I didn't know any details, so I says, I'll get him to phone you. So phoned Michael back, couldn't get him. Oh, frig. Give it another minute. Phoned him again, he answered. I was in the shop there. I'm getting stuff gathered up. I says, right, yeah. He says, look. I says, can you get somebody to come with you? Yeah, he says, the girlfriend's going to come with me and the 2 kids. And I goes, right. I says, what age are the kids? And he says, one's 7 and one's 11. And I'm going, Michael, this isn't really an event for 2 years. And he says, they'll be grand. And I says, I was sort of caught then, I needed somebody, but I was worried, like, somebody else's kids and there's rally cars running around.
Yes.
All I could think of was somebody getting run over, and it's on me then, So he says, no, they'll be great, they'll stay in the van, they'll be fine. He says, don't worry about them. I says, right, okay. I says, and your girlfriend's happy enough? Oh, she's delighted. Yeah. Now, I never met her, never met the kids, just met him. So anyway, he says, no, I'll be there. So I says, fair enough. I says, look, phone Not Travel. I says, I have the boat semi-booked for you. All your details, sort it all out, and I'll sort you. Right, I'll get all that sorted. Fair play to him. He got on the phone and he booked it all, and so come back on to me and says, that's me sorted out, got the boat all sorted. Right, I'll see you on the boat. So we were sitting in the dock, and next thing he came over to the van, he was yarning away. Next thing their queue moved and away he went. And we got onto the boat, and I says, where's the girlfriend and the kids? Oh, they're away to bed. All right, so we never met them yet. You know, and this was... So, anyway, we got off the boat and we got down then to the showground. And that was the only time we met them.
I met the Joanne. Oh, shaking hands. I'm Joanne, yeah. I said, come on, we'll go and have a wee look. While the boys were taking the car off the trailer for scrutiny, I said, come on, we'll have a look and see what's happening. So we dandered up and we were talking, and she got looking at scrutiny and management and trackers and all sorts of things, and came back. I was just walking back. I said, Joanne, have you ever used a road book? No. Right. Here we go. So it was lucky that I had the management schedule quite detailed.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, how simple can I make this? You know, we'll do the first day. I'll took them over the first day stuff. And two better people, or a family we could never have guessed. They took to it.
Oh,
they were everywhere they should have been. They did everything that was needed. And that, Michael, he did lie down in puddles for us.
Yeah. Yes. You know? Fair play to him, yeah.
We had a superb weekend.
Brilliant.
We could not have asked for better. We were so lucky. That last minute. They just dropped everything and came with us.
Yeah.
I was so pleased. We couldn't have done it without them.
No. Because as Jordan, as you said before we started recording, like in a minute there is no spare room. Like you cannot be carrying anything extra, and like even fuel, you're limited to the size of the tank.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So that's why these people were so critical to the whole event for you. They had to be where you had planned them to be.
Oh, yeah.
And our service crew, they were up to speed with what they had to do. But it's everyone. There were 6 of us: 2 management, 2 service, and us 2.
Yeah.
And all 6 of us had an individual responsibility for the team. And if one didn't do their bit, the whole thing fell apart.
Yeah.
And that's what, bringing all the team together, and the crack and the banter was superb.
Yeah.
That's what it was all about, as much as the rally and whatever. Sure. That's the bit I like.
Yeah. And Colin, even before the event started, Nicky Grist done like a wee video.
Yes.
Walking about scrutineering, and he singled out the money and going, like, you know, I would hardly even go shopping at one of these.
Hardly go to that's what he said. Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
I was thinking it must be in the name, you know, Colin.
Yeah.
Colin, you know, it must be in the name.
Yeah.
Pretty mad.
Yeah. But like, you know, that just shows you the level of attention the car was attracting right from the get-go.
Oh, the people that were over at the car when we were even putting stickers on it. You know, getting the numbers on the doors and the cameras. People were over looking and taking pictures and looking inside it, and you know, they just the buzz of that alone, you know.
Aye, and because like, you know, the Mini is that car. Like there was a certain generation, you know, either their parents had the Mini or their granny or their aunt. You know, it was one of those cars that somebody had. You have everybody has a story about a Mini.
But anybody that rallies has nearly had a Mini.
Yeah.
90% of the people that you speak to,
at some point they've had a rally.
At some point in their life, they have had a Mini of some sort. You know,
it might have been their Muller, it might have been the car they first started in, or whatever. It really is. Yeah. So.
And then of course the Paddy Hopkirk connection with Ireland.
Yes,
that's a big thing as well.
Of course, it has that rich heritage as well too. And like Colin, this was no fancy Mini. This was proper historic spec. This was as in back in the day.
Oh, no heaters, I can tell you.
I didn't put a heater in it because it was something else to go wrong.
I didn't wear my hat because there's a draft in the window.
I used the Mini for doing the All Northern Ireland Hill Championship. I used this Mini for that.
Yeah.
And then I said, right, we're going to do this. And they started then converting it into the historic car. Got the papers all done and got it all sorted out, and away we went. That was it. I'll probably put it back to a hill car and have a bit of fun with it, you know.
Yes.
As it is, you know.
And I suppose maybe one of the advantages that you just got for the majority of the stages was running at the front of the field, you know, so the stages just were getting them probably in better condition than some of the tail enders. But still, like to be doing like those like iconic stages like that we watched, you know, watching Top Gear, you know, rally reports back in the day, was that, was there a kind of pinch yourself moment, sitting at the start line of some of those stages?
Not really. It was sort of. It was just the conditions. If it wasn't the snow scared me.
Right.
Like you were coming down there, and even the road sections coming to the stages.
Right.
You were driving down some of the road sections, and it was just black ice, and you were scared to meet somebody. Your heart. I could feel down the road sections. I could feel the sweat in the back of on my back. That much of a tense, trying to see around a corner. Because if you see somebody coming, the first thing you do is put your foot in the brake, and they put their foot in the brake.
Yes. And
if they run into you, your rally's over.
Yes.
Or you slide into the ditch,
and you're stuck.
So the road sections some of the road sections now were treacherous enough, and for them, they averaged the time of 30 mile an hour down some of the road sections. You weren't getting there in your time, like it was tight.
And
I think with Colin's lack of experience, I've been in a lot of those forests in Wales and Kildare and in Scotland with doing the British Historic Championship years ago. Colin didn't really appreciate how the classic stages.
Yes.
Sweet Lamb, got some fantastic photographs from Sweet Lamb, through the splash and stuff. Really brilliant. And when I opened Paverson's notes and they started the video, page 2 of 278, line 1. 1 right continues for 170 into 5 right. And I remember that specifically because I don't know what year it was, but Desi, Nutt and I didn't make the 5 right. And the one in the hedge where we somersaulted down the bank.
Yes.
That was Desi's corner.
Yeah.
So, some classics, yes.
And Geraldine, as well as, all the logistics and the madness of it all, like the road sections, like as Colin was saying, like treacherous, and then having to leave Wales to drive way up to the north of England, that's a long time in a mini on a motorway. You say there's no heater, they're not the most comfortable, it's tiring, but how do you get through all that? There's no radio or nothing.
Well, the long section from Wales, from Welshpool up to Carlisle Airport, we were able to trailer the car.
Ah, right, okay.
That's an advantage.
Ah, right, yes.
Because having, driven all day and then that long run at night, and did we do service before it?
Yeah, we checked the car over before we went up.
Before we started that journey, rather than do it
the next morning. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the whole 5 days just went through. You were either eating, sleeping, or rallying.
Yeah.
And the eating and the sleeping was the small part of it.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know where the days went. I can remember Saturday in particular, our start time was 7:44. And the next time I can remember looking at the time was to get the final control. And we were due in at 22:44. I don't know where that day went.
Yeah, because it was just go the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, while we had the management car with us all the stages, we only saw the service van for 30 minutes.
Right.
In the middle of the day.
Yes.
And then they did all the work at night.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was just moving all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
And the amendments were coming through at a great rate. And sometimes the internet didn't quite work, so you were delayed in getting messages and stuff.
Yes.
So you had to keep your eye on that in case there were stages cancelled, for instance. Mm-hmm. There's another stage where we got a certain bit in the road section and then they held us because they had shortened the stage. They were starting at say, junction 6 or something.
Right, yes.
But from 1 to 6, apparently they couldn't get the ambulances in. It was so treacherous.
Uh-huh.
So things like that were happening on the move.
Aye.
So you had to be on your toes all the time and you suit nothing,
And like, you know, full credit to the organisers that, you know, rather than cancelling the stages, they were trying to work ways around
trying their
it.
best.
Yeah, you know, they tried to keep the event moving as
Well,
best.
we're trying to keep them moving because there's nowhere to get out. If once you were in them wee forest tracks, you have to keep it going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No such thing as an
There's
alternative road
no,
track.
No.
you can't turn around and go back.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. And two, as well, they, you know, going by everybody else is saying as well, the organiser was very accommodating. Like anybody that was having any issues with it, go get it sorted, you know, keep moving, you know, keep, you know, there was no such thing as, you know, oh, you're out of time now, sorry about that, good luck and we'll see you next time. You know, they wanted you to keep moving.
Yeah. Most of the phone calls I was making is, we'll be there in the morning.
But that, you know, that's a proper throwback. That's, you know, organisers want you there, and you know they have that same passion for rallying as just guys do too. They want every man and every woman to get the car to the finish.
Yeah. Oh, they want to see them over the ramp. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But to do all that mileage and do all that prep work, I mean, if it had been a normal rally and we'd been out in the first stage, that would have been horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is a very classic event with the experience of having to do management schedules and whatever, the length of it, the going from Wales to Scotland to England. I mean, it's an opportunity that not a lot of people can take up.
Yeah.
You know, because it's so expensive, it takes up so much time. I mean, for a clubman like ourselves, it was something else. Absolutely something else.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose, Colin, to finish it up, well, a couple of questions to finish up. I suppose the first one is, a lot of people to think, you know, you're the 6 people or the 4 people you had with you obviously want to.
The team I had, yeah. You couldn't have done without them.
Yeah.
You know, to be there where you needed them and help in service and help on the road sections and just be there with fuel and you know, just to keep the wheels going round as such. You know.
Yeah. And then you had a few sponsors on board as well to help to soften the blow a wee bit as well.
Well, a couple. I've done 90% of it myself.
Yeah.
You know, there's boys there helped me out. A couple of boys give me a couple of drums of fuel, and a few boys give me bits and pieces. And you know, Ray there, Cunningham, he builds my engine and put his name on it just because he helps me there. And the Northern Ireland minis there, they give me a couple of quid. You know, just here, it just goes,
yeah.
You know, you know, when you're looking back thinking, well, look what that cost, look what that cost. You're better not adding it up.
No.
You know, and like the wee car did, like, all right, we broke a shock on the Saturday morning in the first stage, went off the line, and it was like, it was a 200 and a one right 200, and it was like 50 deep potholes.
Right.
And I'm looking at this going,
we're going to get out.
How am I going to get across this? You know? And in my head, I was thinking, if I go slow, I'm going to break everything. The quicker I go, the less I'm going to feel them. And we'll come out to the end of it, and I says, we've got a puncture. I can feel the back of her sliding. And then we got on to a bit of a straight, and I sort of, no, I don't think it is. Drive on. Come out the end of the stage, and I opened the door and looked back, and no, wheels hard. So I drove up to the management where the boys were, jumped out, and the shock had pulled itself out and rammed itself up in through the floor. So that held her at the height. So
because I didn't drop or nothing. Yeah.
I just left it. It was just stuck in there. Because you didn't really have time to change it.
No, there was no time to do it much, was it?
You know, the road sections were still tight enough to get in. So I'd done another 3 stages with that.
Yes.
And then in the service, and we got the shock changed.
Got it sorted, yeah.
Away we went again. But like 2 brand new shocks, you know, and one pulls itself apart.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
You just all the prep you can do and something like that happens so random, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. It's like broke a shaft, broke a shock, you know, and that was the only things.
Over 5 days of hard rallying, yeah. Yeah.
And like some of the rougher stuff, I could feel Geraldine beside me going. He was cringing.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be a driver. It was just unbelievable to think of all the work Colin has put in throughout the year, strengthening this, putting in new bits, whatever, and the noise under the car was like pulling it apart. Oh, horrendous.
Yeah. I had made 2 fiberglass floor pans. Piped the car on its side with no engine in it, and made a mould of the floor, and made these 2 half floors.
Yes.
And bolted them on. And when I brought the car home and washed it and looked at it, there's not a mark on them.
Oh.
I was expecting them to be hanging in bits.
There would be nothing left.
There was the noise in the thing. It was like, you know the way you hear something in your car and you turn the radio up?
Yes, I ignored that.
I was turning the radio up, just going, I'll hear that, and just switching off to it. You know? And like, there was bits I reckon there were 2 feet deep of ruts.
Right.
And
10-inch wheels.
I don't remember where it was, in first gear, screaming the life out of it, steering from left to right, trying to get through this bit. And the car's slowing and slowing and slowing. And I can remember saying, we're getting into the last stage, and I got out and said to the guy behind me, I think he was in a 106 or something, and I says to him, see if you catch me, or if I'm stuck in a rut, I says, just push me out. I don't care about the car. Just doze me out, whatever way you can, get me out of the way. And we didn't end up seeing him. He passed us, I think, somewhere. But you know, like, it was just, I was thinking, because that was the only stage we went into.
Oh, you run at the tail end of the field then?
We were at the tail end of the field, you know.
Yeah.
Where they had turned everybody around, so we were getting the worst of the worst in that stage, you know.
Worst of the worst in the dark as well.
In the dark as well too.
I've just seen some of the videos of the top boys finishing that stage, and they got it in daylight.
There's no fair. So thanks very much there to Paul, Colin and Geraldine, and what a story. And I don't know, Colin might be back in the RAC yet, so anybody out there that wants to sponsor him, please give him a call. So Connor, that's the latest episode of Kruncing Gears, the Rally podcast. Please like, share, rate, subscribe. All those things makes a difference, as we keep saying. So until the next time, take care, speak soon, and bye.
That's the proudest day and the proudest time in the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all we said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.